Right now, as you are watching this, a massive storm system is building across the western United States, and within the next 72 hours, it is going to explode into one of the most dangerous weather events we have seen all year. We are not talking about a typical late-season snowstorm. We are talking about a full-blown bomb cyclone, a monster that is going to drop barometric pressure by 24 millibars in just 24 hours, unleash blizzard conditions across more than a dozen states, spawn tornadoes from Texas to Virginia, and slam the eastern half of this country with wind gusts reaching 70 miles per hour. And here's the part that is going to shock a lot of you. Some areas in the upper Midwest could see between 2 and 4 feet of snow in March. Let that sink in for a moment. 2 to 4 feet of snow in the middle of March. But that is not even the craziest part. I'm going to show you exactly which 270-plus cities are in the direct path of this storm, give you the exact timing down to the hour for when it hits your area, and reveal a temperature crash that is going to send wind chills plummeting to 20 degrees below zero in places that were 80 degrees just 48 hours earlier. That is a 100-degree temperature swing in 2 days. Now, if you live anywhere east of the Rocky Mountains, you need to stay with me for the next several minutes because I am about to break down exactly when this storm arrives at your doorstep, when it peaks, and when it finally moves out. And if you want to know the single most dangerous window of this entire event, the 12-hour stretch where the worst of everything collides at once, I am going to reveal that at the 5-minute mark. So do not go anywhere. Before we dive into the timeline, let me tell you what makes this storm so unusual. We have had an incredibly active stretch of weather over the last several days. Tornadoes ripped through Indiana and Illinois. Over 200 wind damage reports were filed in a single day. More than 327,000 homes lost power across multiple states. Washington state alone had 94,000 outages. Mississippi had 48,000. Idaho, 39,000, Georgia, 28,000, Louisiana, 27,000, Alabama, 26,000. And that was from the last system that just moved through. Now imagine a storm that is even stronger, even more widespread, and even more destructive barreling toward the exact same areas that just got hammered. That is what we are facing right now. Here is something else you need to understand. This is not one storm. This is actually 2 separate storm systems that are going to hit back-to-back with almost no break in between. The first one is what meteorologists call a clipper system. It is fast-moving, and it is going to race across the northern tier of the country starting tonight and continuing through Friday. It will bring moderate snowfall to parts of Minnesota, Wisconsin, Michigan, and the interior Northeast. But here is where the plot twist comes in. While most people are focused on that first system, the real monster is quietly building behind it over the northern Rockies. And by Saturday night, that second system is going to undergo bombogenesis, which means rapid intensification, and transform into one of the most powerful March storms in recent memory. Let me give you the exact breakdown of what is coming and when. If you are watching this from anywhere in the United States east of the Rockies, this directly affects you. Let us start with tonight, Thursday evening. The first clipper system is already moving across the northern plains. Heavy snow is breaking out across North Dakota right now. Blizzard warnings are in effect for northeastern sections of Minnesota. If you are in Fargo, Bismarck, Grand Forks, or Duluth, you are going to see the leading edge of this snow arrive by dinnertime tonight. Winds will be gusting to 40 and 50 miles per hour, creating near zero visibility in the heaviest snow bands. If you are in Minneapolis or St. Paul, snow will arrive by late evening, probably between 8 and 10 tonight, and it is going to come down heavy for several hours. Now here is your timing for the northern plains and upper Midwest. For Fargo, snow begins around 5 this evening, peaks overnight between midnight and 4 in the morning, and tapers off by Friday morning around 9. For Duluth, heavy snow arrives around 7 tonight. The worst of it hits between 10 tonight and 6 tomorrow morning, and it wraps up by early Friday afternoon. For Minneapolis and St. Paul, expect snow to move in by 9 or 10 tonight, heaviest snowfall between midnight and 8 tomorrow morning, and things wind down by Friday afternoon. For Green Bay, snow arrives around midnight tonight, peaks Friday morning between 6 and noon, and wraps up Friday evening. For Marquette in the Upper Peninsula of Michigan, you are going to get hammered. Snow arrives overnight, and with lake enhancement from Lake Superior, you could see snowfall rates of 2 to 3 inches per hour. The Upper Peninsula is looking at over a foot of snow just from this first system alone, and there is another one right behind it. Now, the first clipper moves through the interior northeast by Friday afternoon into Saturday morning. For Buffalo, light to moderate snow begins Friday afternoon around 2, picks up Friday evening and tapers off Saturday morning. You might squeeze out about 2 to 4 inches from this one. For Syracuse and Albany, similar timing, Friday afternoon through Saturday morning with a few inches of accumulation. For the Tuckahannock Plateau and the higher elevations of New York, you could see over 6 inches from this first system. But here is the thing, that first clipper is just the opening act. The real show starts Saturday night, and this is where I need every single person watching to pay very close attention. Drop a comment right now telling me what city and state you are in. I am going to do my best to give specific forecasts for as many locations as possible. If you have family or friends in any of the states I'm about to mention, send them this video right now, because the information I'm about to share could literally save their lives. Alright, here is the timeline for the main event, the bomb cyclone that is going to reshape the weather map for the entire eastern half of the country. Saturday afternoon into Saturday evening, a new storm system begins to organize over Montana, Idaho, and western Wyoming. Snow starts falling across the northern Rockies. If you are in Bozeman, Missoula, Helena, or Great Falls, Montana, snow begins Saturday afternoon and it is going to be heavy. The higher elevations of western Montana and the Cascades of Washington could see snowfall totals that are absolutely staggering. Some models are showing over 160 inches at the highest peaks. Yes, you heard that right, over 13 feet of snow at the very highest elevations. Now, that is extreme mountain snowfall, but even the valleys are looking at multiple feet. Saturday night, the storm starts to move east off the Rockies and into the northern plains. This is when the bombogenesis process begins. The barometric pressure starts to plummet. For Billings, Montana, and Rapid City, South Dakota, heavy snow and increasing winds arrive Saturday night. By midnight Saturday into early Sunday morning, you are looking at full blizzard conditions across western South Dakota, eastern Montana, and western North Dakota. Now pay attention to this next part because this is where things get extremely intense. Sunday morning, between 6 and 9 in the morning Central Time, the storm is rapidly intensifying as it races across the northern plains into the upper Midwest. A massive swath of heavy snow is breaking out from South Dakota all the way into Wisconsin and Minnesota. Snowfall rates in the heaviest bands could reach 4 to 5 inches per hour. That is not a typo. 4 to 5 inches of snow falling every single hour. If you are in Sioux Falls, you are already buried by Sunday morning. If you are in Rochester, Minnesota, heavy snow is falling by dawn. If you are in Eau Claire, La Crosse, or Madison, Wisconsin, the snow wall is heading directly for you. Here is the city-by-city breakdown for Sunday morning. For Sioux Falls, South Dakota, heavy snow begins overnight Saturday, peaks Sunday morning between 4 and 10, and continues through midday. For Rochester, Minnesota, snow begins around 3 Sunday morning, heaviest between 6 and noon. For Eau Claire, Wisconsin, snow moves in around 4 Sunday morning, heaviest between 8 and 2 in the afternoon. For La Crosse, Wisconsin, similar timing, heavy snow from 5 in the morning through early afternoon. For Madison, Wisconsin, snow begins around 7 the Sunday morning and does not let up until Monday. For Milwaukee, snow starts by Sunday mid-morning around 9 or 10, and this is going to turn into a prolonged multi-day event. For Green Bay, Wisconsin, here comes round 2. Snow begins Sunday morning around 8, and based on current model data, you are looking at 1 to 2 feet of additional snow on top of whatever fell from the first system. But wait, there is more happening on Sunday, and this is where the storm gets truly dangerous. Sunday midday, around noon Central Time. While blizzard conditions rage across Wisconsin, Minnesota, and the Dakotas, something very different is happening on the south and east side of this storm system. Warm, moist air is being pulled northward from the Gulf of Mexico. Dew points are climbing into the upper 50s and low 60s across Texas, Arkansas, Louisiana, and Mississippi. Thunderstorms begin to erupt along a line stretching from East Texas near Dallas and Fort Worth all the way northward into central Illinois. And these are not ordinary thunderstorms. This is the part I told you about at the beginning. This is the most dangerous 12-hour window of the entire event, and it begins right here, Sunday around noon Central Time. The Storm Prediction Center has already issued a slight risk level 2 out of 5 for severe weather on Sunday, and this risk level is almost certainly going to be upgraded as we get closer. The primary threat is going to be damaging straight-line winds, potentially reaching 60 to 70 miles per hour along the squall line. But here is what has me most concerned. The atmosphere on Sunday is going to be incredibly dynamic. We have a powerful jet stream diving south with winds exceeding 100 knots at the mid and upper levels of the atmosphere. All that energy is going to work its way down to the surface. Tornadoes embedded within the main line of storms are definitely on the table, and if dew points end up even 4 to 5 degrees higher than currently forecast, we could be looking at a full-blown tornado outbreak. Let me give you the city-by-city timing for the severe weather threat on Sunday. For Dallas and Fort Worth, Texas, thunderstorms begin developing around 11 in the morning to noon. The most intense activity hits between 1 and 4 in the afternoon. Large hail and damaging winds are the primary threats, but an isolated tornado cannot be ruled out. For Shreveport, Louisiana, storms arrive between noon and 2 in the afternoon. For Little Rock, Arkansas, the squall line reaches you between 2 and 5 in the afternoon. For Memphis, Tennessee, expect the line of storms between 4 and 7 in the evening. For Jackson, Mississippi, storms hit between 3 and 6 in the afternoon. For Springfield, Missouri, interesting scenario here because you could see severe storms followed by snow within the same 12-hour period. Thunderstorms arrive around 2 to 4 in the afternoon, and snow could begin moving in by late evening. For St. Louis, Missouri, same deal. Storms in the afternoon, possible snow by Sunday night into Monday morning. For Springfield, Illinois, storms hit between 3 and 6 in the afternoon. For Indianapolis, Indiana, the squall line arrives Sunday evening between 6 and 10. For Louisville, Kentucky, severe weather hits between 7 and 11 Sunday night. For Nashville, Tennessee, storms come through between 5 and 9 Sunday evening, and yes, there could even be a brief period of light snow behind the cold front later Sunday night. In Nashville, in March. Now, do not skip ahead because there is another severe weather day coming right behind Sunday, and for some of you, Monday might actually be worse. Sunday night into Monday morning, the storm system continues to rapidly deepen. The surface low pressure is forecast to drop to around 978 millibars as it tracks over lower Michigan. That is an extraordinarily deep low for this time of year. On the cold side of this storm, snow continues to pile up across the Midwest. Here is where the accumulations get absolutely jaw-dropping. Let me give you the projected snowfall totals for the major cities in the snow zone, combining both storm systems. Minneapolis and St. Paul, Minnesota, 12 to 20 inches total from both systems combined. Rochester, Minnesota, 15 to 24 inches. Duluth, Minnesota, 18 to 30 inches. Fargo, North Dakota, 8 to 14 inches. Sioux Falls, South Dakota, 10 to 18 inches. Eau Claire, Wisconsin, 18 to 28 inches. La Crosse, Wisconsin, 16 to 24 inches. Madison, Wisconsin, 12 to 20 inches. Milwaukee, Wisconsin, 14 to 24 inches. Green Bay, Wisconsin, 18 to 30 inches. Wausau, Wisconsin, 20 to 32 inches. Stevens Point, Wisconsin, 16 to 26 inches. Chicago, Illinois, and this one is going to surprise a lot of people, 6 to 12 inches. Now, the exact Chicago number depends heavily on where the rain-snow line sets up, but there is a very real possibility that the Chicago metro area wakes up Monday morning to a significant snowfall. If the track of the low shifts even slightly, those numbers could go up. St. Louis, Missouri, 2 to 6 inches, with the possibility of higher amounts if the low tracks a bit further south. Des Moines, Iowa, 10 to 18 inches. Omaha, Nebraska, 6 to 12 inches. Kansas City, Missouri, 3 to 7 inches. Now let us talk about the Great Lakes because this is where the numbers get truly historic. The Upper Peninsula of Michigan is going to get absolutely buried. When you combine the snowfall from the actual storm with the lake-enhanced snow that is going to continue for days afterwards, some spots in the UP are looking at 2 to 4 feet of snow. Marquette, Michigan, 24 to 48 inches. Houghton, Michigan, 30 to 48 inches. Sault Ste. Marie, Michigan, 20 to 36 inches. Traverse City, Michigan, 8 to 16 inches. Grand Rapids, Michigan, 6 to 14 inches, with the possibility of ice mixing in at times. And here is a critical detail that a lot of people are overlooking. The Great Lakes are unusually warm right now because much of the lake ice melted earlier this season. That means when this massive cold air mass comes sweeping across those warm lake surfaces, it is going to squeeze out enormous amounts of lake effect and lake-enhanced snow. This effect alone could add an additional 6 to 12 inches on top of the storm totals in areas downwind of the lakes. Now let us talk about the Northeast because you are not getting off easy either. Monday morning through Monday evening, the storm system and its associated cold front barrel into the eastern states. For Pittsburgh, Pennsylvania, expect a mix of rain changing to heavy snow Monday morning, total snow accumulation 4 to 8 inches. For Cleveland, Ohio, rain changes to snow Sunday night into Monday, with lake-enhanced snow continuing well into Tuesday, total accumulation 8 to 16 inches. For Detroit, Michigan, this is a complex forecast because you are right near the rain, sleet, freezing rain, and snow transition zone. Expect rain Sunday evening changing to a wintry mix and then snow Monday. If the ice storm component materializes as some models suggest, this could cause significant power outages. Total ice accumulation a quarter inch to half an inch, followed by 4 to 8 inches of snow. For Columbus, Ohio, rain Sunday evening changes to snow overnight, 3 to 6 inches possible. For Cincinnati, Ohio, rain with some thunderstorms Sunday evening, brief change to snow Monday morning, 1 to 3 inches. For Erie, Pennsylvania, heavy snow arrives Monday, 8 to 14 inches with lake enhancement possible. For Buffalo, New York, here comes another big one. Snow arrives Monday and continues through Tuesday with lake effect enhancement. Total accumulation 10 to 20 inches. For Rochester, New York, similar setup 8 to 16 inches. For Syracuse, New York, 10 to 18 inches with the Syracuse snow machine working overtime on lake effect. For Albany, New York, snow arrives Monday afternoon 4 to 8 inches. For the New York City metro area, this is going to be a close call. Rain arrives Monday morning. The big question is whether it changes to snow Monday afternoon or evening. Right now, models are showing a brief period of wet snow possible for the city itself, maybe a coating to 2 inches, but the higher elevations north and west of the city could see 4 to 8 inches. For Boston, Massachusetts, rain Monday, changing to a brief burst of heavy wet snow Monday evening. 1 to 4 inches possible in the city, more in the western suburbs. For Hartford, Connecticut, rain changing to snow Monday afternoon, 3 to 6 inches. For Philadelphia, Pennsylvania, rain with some thunderstorms Monday morning, possible brief change to snow Monday evening, a coating to 2 inches in the city, 3 to 6 inches in the northern suburbs and Poconos. For Washington, District of Columbia, rain and thunderstorms Monday with a slight chance of a brief snow shower Monday night. Accumulation unlikely in the city, but the mountains of Western Virginia and West Virginia could see 4 to 8 inches. For Portland, Maine, snow arrives Monday afternoon and could be heavy at times, 6 to 12 inches. For Burlington, Vermont, 8 to 14 inches. For Concord, New Hampshire, 6 to 10 inches. But the severe weather threat is not over yet. Monday is actually looking like it could be a significant severe weather day for the Southeast and Mid-Atlantic. Let me explain why. Monday morning through Monday afternoon. As the low-pressure system tracks northeast, the warm sector on its south and east side is going to be loaded with moisture. Dew points across the southeast are expected to climb well into the 60s. The jet stream energy overhead is going to be even stronger than on Sunday, with winds aloft exceeding 100 knots. The Storm Prediction Center already has a slight risk up for Monday across the upper southeast and mid-Atlantic, stretching all the way to the Washington District of Columbia corridor. And this risk is likely to expand. Here is the timing for Monday severe weather. For Atlanta, Georgia, thunderstorms develop Monday morning between 8 and 11. Damaging winds and an isolated tornado are possible. For Birmingham, Alabama, storms between 7 and 10 Monday morning. For Charlotte, North Carolina, storms arrive between 10 Monday morning and 2 in the afternoon. For Raleigh, North Carolina, storms between noon and 4 in the afternoon. This is an area that the Storm Prediction Center specifically mentioned as a zone where supercells could develop in the moist sector. If supercells fire here, the tornado threat becomes very real. For Richmond, Virginia, storms between 1 and 5 Monday afternoon. And remember, Richmond woke up Thursday morning in the 70s. By Monday, they could be seeing severe thunderstorms followed by temperatures crashing into the 30s. For Norfolk, Virginia, storms between 2 and 6 Monday afternoon. For Washington, District of Columbia, storms between 2 and 5 Monday afternoon. For the Outer Banks of North Carolina, storms between 1 and 5 Monday afternoon. There is another twist I need to tell you about. Along the East Coast, as the main frontal boundary pushes through, individual supercell thunderstorms are being pulled northward from the Gulf and the Atlantic ahead of the main line. These cells, moving independently from the squall line, could produce tornadoes along the coastal areas of the Carolinas, Virginia, and the Delmarva Peninsula. These are the kinds of storms that can catch people off guard because they are not part of the main line. They pop up ahead of it. If you live along the East Coast from South Carolina to New Jersey, you need to have a way to receive weather warnings on Monday. Now let us talk about the third act of this incredible weather event, the Arctic blast, Monday night through Wednesday. Once the storm system passes, a massive surge of Arctic air is going to come crashing southward behind it. This is going to be one of the coldest air masses of the entire winter season for some areas, and it is happening in the middle of March. Here are the feel-like temperatures you can expect Monday morning. For Dallas, Fort Worth, the wind chill will be in the 20s. Remember, just 24 hours earlier, it was in the 80s. For Minneapolis, the wind chill drops to 15 to 20 degrees below zero. For Des Moines, wind chills around 10 to 15 below zero. For Chicago, wind chills in the single digits. For Detroit, wind chills in the single digits to low teens. For St. Louis, wind chills in the teens. For Indianapolis, wind chills in the teens. For Kansas City, wind chills in the teens. For Omaha, wind chills near zero. By Tuesday morning, the cold air pushes even further south and east. For Memphis, morning lows in the low 30s with wind chills in the 20s. For Birmingham, Alabama, morning lows near freezing. For Atlanta, morning lows in the mid-30s. For Jackson, Mississippi, morning lows in the low 30s. For Houston, Texas, morning lows in the upper 30s. For New Orleans, Louisiana, morning lows in the upper 30s to low 40s. For Washington, District of Columbia, morning lows in the mid-20s. For New York City, morning lows in the low 20s. For Boston, morning lows in the teens. Here is what is truly remarkable about this cold blast. We are talking about temperatures running 20 to 40 degrees below average across a huge swath of the country. In parts of the upper Midwest, actual temperatures Monday morning could drop to 5 to 15 degrees below zero, not wind chill, the actual air temperature. In mid-March, that is winter at its peak, not winter in its final weeks. And then, in what might be the most whiplash-inducing part of this entire pattern, warm air comes roaring back by the end of next week. By Friday of next week, temperatures across the Midwest and East Coast will be right back to near record-breaking warmth. We are talking about going from 20 below zero wind chills to 60 and 70-degree highs in the span of 5 days. That is the kind of temperature roller coaster that puts enormous stress on infrastructure, on your body, on agriculture, and on daily life. Now let me expand the forecast to cover even more cities across the country, because I know many of you are wondering about your specific area. Let us go region by region, starting with the Pacific Northwest and West Coast. While all this chaos is happening in the central and eastern United States, the West Coast has its own weather story. A strong ridge of high pressure is building along the West Coast, leading to well above average temperatures. Los Angeles, California, heat advisories are in effect with temperatures climbing into the 90s in some valleys. San Francisco, California, above average warmth but nothing extreme, mid-70s. Sacramento, California, upper 80s to low 90s. San Diego, California, warm and dry, upper 70s to low 80s. Portland, Oregon, cooling down after a mild stretch, upper 50s. Seattle, Washington, similar, upper 50s with some clouds. Meanwhile, heavy snow continues in the Cascades and northern Rockies. If you are headed to Mount Rainier, Mount Hood, or any of the ski resorts in Washington and Oregon, avalanche danger is going to be extremely high this weekend. Moving to the northern Rockies and northern plains. Boise, Idaho, snow showers Saturday, high in the upper 30s. Salt Lake City, Utah, passing snow showers, upper 40s. Denver, Colorado, this is interesting. Denver sits right on the edge. Some light snow is possible Saturday night, but the main storm tracks to your north. High on Sunday only in the mid-30s, which is about 15 degrees below average. Cheyenne, Wyoming, snow and wind Saturday night into Sunday, 4 to 8 inches possible. Billings, Montana, heavy snow Saturday night through Sunday, 8 to 16 inches with blizzard conditions. Missoula, Montana, heavy mountain snow, valley totals 6 to 12 inches. Now let me cover the Central Plains. Wichita, Kansas, gusty winds. Sunday, a slight chance of storms, high in the 50s before temperatures crash Sunday night. Oklahoma City, Oklahoma, Thunderstorms Sunday afternoon with gusty winds high near 70 before a dramatic temperature drop to the 30s by Monday morning. Tulsa, Oklahoma, similar to Oklahoma City. Storms Sunday afternoon followed by plummeting temperatures. Amarillo, Texas, gusty winds and blowing dust Saturday. Temperatures dropping into the 20s by Monday morning. Lubbock, Texas, same setup. Windy with a dramatic cool down. Across the Deep South. Houston, Texas, thunderstorms. Sunday afternoon, some could be strong, high near 80 before temperatures drop into the 40s by Monday. San Antonio, Texas, storms Sunday, high near 82, lows by Monday in the upper 30s. Austin, Texas, storms Sunday afternoon, similar temperature crash. New Orleans, Louisiana, thunderstorms Sunday night into Monday morning, warm and humid beforehand with highs in the upper 70s, then temperatures fall into the 40s behind the front. Mobile, Alabama, storms Monday morning with gusty winds, high near 75 before dropping to the 40s. Pensacola, Florida, storms Monday morning, similar setup. Jacksonville, Florida, thunderstorms Monday, high near 78, then temperatures drop into the upper 40s by Tuesday morning. Tampa, Florida, you are on the far southern edge, showers Monday but not as dramatic. Highs staying in the 70s with lows only dropping to the mid-50s. Miami, Florida, mostly missing this event, warm and breezy with highs near 85. Let me now cover the Ohio Valley and Mid-Atlantic in more detail. Columbus, Ohio, rain. Sunday evening changing to snow overnight, 3 to 6 inches. High on Monday only around 32. Dayton, Ohio, similar to Columbus. Akron and Canton, Ohio, rain to snow 4 to 8 inches. Youngstown, Ohio, 5 to 9 inches. Wheeling, West Virginia, 4 to 8 inches. Morgantown, West Virginia, 5 to 9 inches. Charleston, West Virginia, rain changing to snow 2 to 5 inches. Lexington, Kentucky, rain Sunday night with some thunderstorms. Brief change to snow Monday morning, 1 to 3 inches. Knoxville, Tennessee, thunderstorms Sunday evening, a dusting to 1 inch of snow, possible Monday morning in the higher elevations. Chattanooga, Tennessee, thunderstorms Sunday evening, no snow expected but temperatures crash. For the Mid-Atlantic, Baltimore, Maryland, rain and storms. Monday, possible brief wet snow Monday evening, a coating to 1 inch. Wilmington, Delaware, similar to Baltimore. Trenton, New Jersey, rain to snow Monday afternoon, 1 to 3 inches. Newark, New Jersey, rain to a brief burst of snow, a coating to 2 inches. Bridgeport, Connecticut, rain to snow Monday afternoon, 2 to 5 inches. Providence, Rhode Island, rain to snow 2 to 4 inches. Worcester, Massachusetts, 4 to 8 inches. Springfield, Massachusetts, 4 to 7 inches. For northern New England, Bangor, Maine, 8 to 14 inches. Augusta, Maine, 7 to 12 inches. Montpelier, Vermont, 8 to 14 inches. Manchester, New Hampshire, 5 to 9 inches. Now, I want to talk about something that is getting completely overlooked in this storm, and that is the wind. Even in areas that do not see significant snow or severe thunderstorms, the wind from this system is going to be ferocious. The first Clipper system that is moving through tonight and tomorrow is going to generate wind gusts of 50 to 70 miles per hour across the northern plains and upper Midwest. Areas of Montana, the Dakotas, Nebraska, Iowa, Minnesota, Wisconsin, and Illinois are under high wind warnings or wind advisories, but even that first system is the weaker of the two. The bomb cyclone on Sunday and Monday is going to produce wind gusts of 50 to 70 miles per hour across a huge area from the Gulf Coast all the way up through the Ohio Valley and into the Northeast. Here is where the wind damage risk is highest. For the Midwest, Sunday into Monday, gusts of 50 to 60 miles per hour are likely across Iowa, Minnesota, Wisconsin, Illinois, Indiana, Michigan, and Ohio. These kinds of winds can knock down trees, snap power lines, and flip tractor trailers on highways. For the Ohio Valley and Northeast, Monday into Tuesday, gusts of 40 to 60 miles per hour from Pennsylvania through New York and into New England. Combine that with heavy wet snow on the trees and power lines, and you have a recipe for widespread power outages. For the Southeast, Sunday night into Monday, the squall line will produce wind gusts of 50 to 70 miles per hour from Mississippi and Alabama through Tennessee and into the Carolinas and Virginia. If you have not already, now is the time to charge your devices, make sure you have flashlights and batteries, and fill up your gas tank. If you are in the snow zone, make sure you have food and water for at least 3 days, because travel is going to be nearly impossible in parts of the Midwest from Sunday morning through Tuesday. Now, I promised you I would reveal the single most dangerous 12-hour window of this event, and here it is. Sunday afternoon at noon Central Time through Monday at midnight Central Time. That 12-hour stretch is when everything converges. Blizzard conditions across the upper Midwest with snowfall rates of 4 to 5 inches per hour and wind gusts of 60 miles per hour. A violent squall line with damaging winds and embedded tornadoes racing from Texas through the Ohio Valley. Freezing rain and ice accumulation in the transition zone across lower Michigan and parts of Illinois and Indiana. And behind all of it, Arctic air crashing southward with temperatures plummeting 30 to 50 degrees in just 12 hours. In my years of watching weather, it is rare to see a single storm system produce this many simultaneous hazards across this wide of an area. This is a coast-to-coast, border-to-border weather event that is going to touch virtually every state east of the Rockies. Let me do a rapid-fire recap of additional cities that I have not covered yet. I want to make sure nobody gets left out. Rapid City, South Dakota, heavy snow and blizzard conditions Saturday night through Sunday, 12 to 20 inches. Pierre, South Dakota, 10 to 16 inches. Aberdeen, South Dakota, 8 to 14 inches. Bismarck, North Dakota, 6 to 10 inches. Grand Forks, North Dakota, 6 to 12 inches. Minot, North Dakota, 4 to 8 inches. Mankato, Minnesota, 12 to 20 inches. St. Cloud, Minnesota, 14 to 22 inches. Brainerd, Minnesota, 12 to 18 inches. International Falls, Minnesota, 10 to 16 inches. Iron Mountain, Michigan, 18 to 30 inches. Escanaba, Michigan, 16 to 28 inches. Alpena, Michigan, 8 to 14 inches. Lansing, Michigan, rain to wintry mixed to snow, 3 to 7 inches. Kalamazoo, Michigan, similar to Lansing. South Bend, Indiana, rain to snow, 4 to 8 inches with lake enhancement. Fort Wayne, Indiana, rain to snow, 3 to 6 inches. Rockford, Illinois, snow Sunday into Monday, 6 to 12 inches. Peoria, Illinois, rain to snow, 3 to 7 inches. Champaign, Illinois, rain changing to snow, 2 to 5 inches. Decatur, Illinois, 2 to 5 inches. Bloomington, Indiana, rain with thunderstorms changing to snow, 1 to 3 inches. Terre Haute, Indiana, rain to snow, 2 to 4 inches. Evansville, Indiana, thunderstorms, Sunday 1 to 2 inches of snow possible behind the front. Cedar Rapids, Iowa, snow Sunday, 8 to 14 inches. Waterloo, Iowa, 10 to 16 inches. Dubuque, Iowa, 12 to 18 inches. Mason City, Iowa, 12 to 20 inches. Davenport, Iowa, 6 to 12 inches. Lincoln, Nebraska, 4 to 8 inches. Grand Island, Nebraska, 4 to 8 inches. North Platte, Nebraska, 3 to 6 inches. Topeka, Kansas, rain to snow, 2 to 5 inches. Springfield, Missouri, thunderstorms followed by snow, 2 to 5 inches. Columbia, Missouri, thunderstorms, then snow, 2 to 6 inches. Jefferson City, Missouri, similar. Paducah, Kentucky, thunderstorms Sunday evening, slight chance of flurries behind the front. Bowling Green, Kentucky, thunderstorms Sunday evening. Huntsville, Alabama, thunderstorms Sunday night. Montgomery, Alabama, thunderstorms Monday morning. Shreveport, Louisiana, thunderstorms Sunday afternoon, highs in the upper 70s dropping to the 40s. Baton Rouge, Louisiana, thunderstorms Sunday night, temperature drop into the 40s. Little Rock, Arkansas, thunderstorms Sunday afternoon followed by a dramatic temperature crash, slight chance of flurries. Fort Smith, Arkansas, similar. Fayetteville, Arkansas, thunderstorms, then possibly some light snow, 1 to 3 inches. Jonesboro, Arkansas, thunderstorms Sunday evening. Tupelo, Mississippi, thunderstorms Sunday evening. Hattiesburg, Mississippi, storms Monday morning. Meridian, Mississippi, storms Sunday night into Monday morning. Greenville, South Carolina, thunderstorms Monday morning. Possible brief snow showers in the mountains. Columbia, South Carolina, thunderstorms Monday. Charleston, South Carolina, storms Monday, high near 70, dropping into the 40s. Savannah, Georgia, storms Monday. Macon, Georgia, storms Monday morning. Augusta, Georgia, storms Monday. Tallahassee, Florida, storms Monday morning. Virginia Beach, Virginia, storms Monday afternoon, gusty winds. Roanoke, Virginia, rain to snow. Monday, 2 to 5 inches. Charlottesville, Virginia, rain to possible wet snow, 1 to 3 inches. Lynchburg, Virginia, similar to Roanoke. Blacksburg, Virginia, rain to heavy snow, 4 to 8 inches. Harrisburg, Pennsylvania, rain to snow. Monday afternoon, 2 to 5 inches. Scranton, Pennsylvania, rain to snow, 4 to 8 inches. Allentown, Pennsylvania, rain to snow, 2 to 5 inches. State College, Pennsylvania, rain to snow, 5 to 9 inches. Binghamton, New York, snow, 6 to 12 inches. Utica, New York, 8 to 14 inches. Watertown, New York, with lake effect, 10 to 20 inches. Plattsburgh, New York, 6 to 10 inches. Rutland, Vermont, 6 to 12 inches. Now, I know I just threw a massive amount of information at you, and I want to make sure the most critical points do not get lost. So let me give you the bottom line for each region, Northern Plains and Upper Midwest. This is ground zero for the heaviest snow and the worst blizzard conditions. If you live in Minnesota, Wisconsin, the Upper Peninsula of Michigan, Iowa, or the Dakotas, prepare for a historic March snowstorm. 2 to 4 feet of snow is possible in the heaviest bands. Travel will be impossible from Sunday morning through at least Monday evening. Do not plan to drive anywhere. Great Lakes region. You are going to get hit hard by both the storm snow and the lake-enhanced snow. Power outages are likely to be widespread and could last for days. The combination of heavy wet snow and high winds is going to bring down trees and power lines. Ohio Valley. You are in the severe weather zone on Sunday and the snow zone on Monday. This is the area where the storm is most complex and most dangerous because you could see tornadoes, damaging winds, freezing rain, and snow all within a 24-hour period. Southeast. Your primary threat is severe weather on Sunday and Monday. Damaging winds are the biggest concern, but tornadoes are possible, especially along the coast on Monday where supercells could develop ahead of the main squall line, mid-Atlantic and northeast. Severe weather on Monday followed by a burst of heavy snow for many areas as the storm exits. The wind from this system is going to be incredibly strong and power outages are likely. And for everyone, the Arctic blast that follows this storm is going to be a shock to the system. Make sure you have warm clothing accessible even if it has been spring like recently. Protect any plants or outdoor plumbing that might be vulnerable to a hard freeze. I know some of you are probably thinking, is this really going to be as bad as it sounds? And I want to be honest with you, there is still some uncertainty in the exact track of the low-pressure system, and even a 50-mile shift north or south could significantly change the snow totals and the rain-snow line for cities like Chicago, Detroit, Indianapolis, and St. Louis. That is why it is so important to stay updated over the next 48 hours. But here is what is not in question. A major high-impact storm system is going to affect the eastern two-thirds of the United States this weekend into early next week. Heavy snow, blizzard conditions, severe thunderstorms, damaging winds, tornadoes, freezing rain, and a massive cold blast are all going to happen. The only question is the exact placement of each hazard. Now, before I let you go, I need to tell you about something that is developing for later in March that has me watching very closely. The models are showing that this pattern of strong cold fronts pushing into the eastern United States is not going to stop after this storm. There are signals in the long-range data that another shot of cold air could arrive around March 25th, potentially bringing another round of winter weather to the Midwest. The jet stream pattern is set up to keep diving southward over the eastern half of the country for the next couple of weeks. So while we may see a dramatic warm-up by the end of next week, do not put your winter gear away just yet. Also, as we head into April, the severe weather season is going to be ramping up significantly. The temperature contrasts that these late-season cold intrusions create are exactly the kind of ingredient that fuels major tornado outbreaks. We are entering the most active period of the year for severe weather, and this pattern suggests that April could be very busy. So here is what I need you to do right now. First, drop a comment telling me your city and state. I will do everything I can to get you a specific forecast update. Second, if you have not already, make your storm preparations now. Do not wait until Saturday. If you are in the snow zone, get to the grocery store today. Fill up your gas tank. Make sure you have batteries and flashlights. If you are in the severe weather zone, make sure your weather alerts are turned on and you have a plan for where to shelter if a tornado warning is issued. Third, share this forecast with anyone you know who lives in the affected areas. The more prepared people are, the safer everyone will be. Do not miss the next update, because as this storm system gets closer, the models are going to sharpen the details significantly. We are going to know exactly where the heaviest snow sets up, exactly where the biggest tornado risk develops, and exactly how cold it is going to get. That next update is going to be critical. Remember, this is not a storm to take lightly. 2 to 4 feet of snow, tornadoes, 70-mile-per-hour winds, and a 100-degree temperature swing in some areas, all from one storm system. This is the kind of event that meteorologists talk about for years. Be ready, be safe, and whatever you do, do not get caught off guard. Stay safe out there, and I will see you in the very next update with the latest model data and any changes to the forecast. This storm is evolving fast, and every hour brings new information. The next video is going to have the final numbers, the final timing, and the final call on whether Sunday's severe weather turns into a full-scale tornado outbreak. You do not want to miss it. Now I want to circle back and give you even more detail on some areas that I touched on but did not fully break down. Because I know a lot of you are sitting there right now wondering, what exactly does this mean for my neighborhood, my commute, my kids getting to school on Monday? So let me go deeper. Let us start with the ice storm threat, because this is one of the most underreported aspects of this entire event. Right along the boundary between the snow and the rain, there is going to be a narrow corridor where freezing rain accumulates. This is arguably the most dangerous weather type of all because it coats everything, roads, power lines, trees, in a sheet of ice. And it only takes a quarter-inch of ice accumulation to start bringing down tree limbs and snapping power lines. Here is where the ice storm corridor is expected to set up on Sunday into Monday. It stretches from just north of Chicago, Illinois, through southern Wisconsin near the Illinois border, across southern lower Michigan, and into portions of northern Indiana and northern Ohio. Cities that need to be on high alert for significant ice accumulation include South Bend, Indiana, where a quarter-inch to half-an-inch of ice is possible before transitioning to snow. Kalamazoo, Michigan, similar ice amounts. Lansing, Michigan, you are right on the edge, and whether you get heavy snow or an ice storm depends on exactly where the surface temperature line sets up. Grand Rapids, Michigan, mostly rain transitioning to ice and then snow. Ann Arbor, Michigan, ice is a real possibility here, a quarter-inch or more. Toledo, Ohio, you are on the warm side of the transition, mostly rain, but a brief period of freezing rain is possible. Fort Wayne, Indiana, freezing rain possible before changing to snow. If you are in this ice corridor, please take it extremely seriously. A quarter-inch of ice on the roads is worse than 6 inches of snow because you cannot gain traction at all. If you hear the phrase freezing rain in your local forecast, do not drive. Period. Stay home. Now let me talk about the flood threat that nobody is discussing yet. On the southern and eastern side of this storm, where temperatures stay above freezing, we are going to see some significant rainfall. Parts of the Tennessee Valley, the Ohio Valley, and the Southeast could pick up 2 to 4 inches of rain in a 12 to 18-hour period. On top of that, in the Midwest and Northeast, once this massive snowfall starts to melt later next week, when temperatures bounce back to the 60s and 70s, we are going to have a significant snowmelt flood risk. Rivers and streams across Minnesota, Wisconsin, Michigan, Iowa, and Illinois could experience rapid rises by late next week. If you live near a river or in a flood-prone area in any of these states, start monitoring river levels now. Specific flood concerns include the Mississippi River through the Minneapolis and St. Paul metro area, the Minnesota River, the Wisconsin River, the Fox River in Wisconsin and Illinois, the Rock River in Illinois, the Grand River in Michigan, the Maumee River in Ohio, the Wabash River in Indiana, and tributaries of the Ohio River across multiple states. Any of these waterways could see moderate to major flooding once the snow melts, especially if the warm-up next week is as dramatic as models are currently suggesting. Let me also address something for those of you in the Southeast who might be thinking, well, this does not really affect me. It does, and here is why. Beyond the severe weather threat on Sunday and Monday that we already discussed, the cold blast that follows this storm is going to push freeze warnings deep into the Southeast. If you have already started planting your spring garden in Alabama, Georgia, Mississippi, the Carolinas, or northern Florida, you need to cover those plants or bring them inside. Temperatures Tuesday morning are going to drop into the low 30s and upper 20s across much of the northern half of the Southeast. That is cold enough to kill tender spring plants and even damage some fruit tree blossoms. For agriculture, this is a significant concern. Peach orchards in Georgia and South Carolina are particularly vulnerable. Strawberry fields in Louisiana and North Carolina could be damaged. Early planted corn and cotton seedlings across the southern plains and lower Mississippi Valley could face frost damage. If you are a farmer or you know one, please pass this information along. Now let me give you an expanded breakdown for the western states, because even though the main storm is focused on the central and eastern United States, the West has its own set of weather challenges this weekend. Starting with California. Southern California is baking under a heat dome right now. Los Angeles is looking at high temperatures in the upper 80s to low 90s through the weekend. Inland Empire areas like Riverside and San Bernardino could touch 95 degrees. Palm Springs could hit 103 or 104. Fire weather conditions are elevated across the foothills and mountain areas due to low humidity and gusty Santa Ana winds. If you are in Southern California, be extra careful with any potential ignition sources. One spark in these conditions can lead to a wildfire that spreads rapidly. Northern California is warm, but not as extreme. Sacramento will see highs in the mid to upper 80s, San Jose in the mid 70s. San Francisco stays cooler, mid to upper 60s near the coast. For the Pacific Northwest, Seattle and Portland are going to see a fairly quiet weekend with temperatures near normal, upper 50s. Some rain moves in by Monday and Tuesday as the weather pattern shifts. For the Intermountain West, Boise, Idaho, snow showers Saturday with a high in the upper 30s, then gradual warming through the week. Phoenix, Arizona, upper 70s to low 80s this weekend with dry conditions. Tucson, Arizona, similar. Las Vegas, Nevada, upper 70s with gusty winds at times. Albuquerque, New Mexico, windy conditions through the weekend with highs in the mid to upper 60s, dropping into the 40s behind the cold front Monday night. El Paso, Texas, gusty winds and blowing dust this weekend, high near 78, dropping to the mid-40s by Monday night. For the Colorado Front Range, Denver, Colorado, this is a close call storm for you. Right now, models are keeping the heaviest snow to your north, but you are going to see some light snow Saturday night into Sunday. 2 to 5 inches in Denver proper, but the foothills west of Denver could see 6 to 12 inches. Colorado Springs, similar setup with 2 to 4 inches in the city. Fort Collins could see 4 to 8 inches with its more northern position. Boulder, 4 to 8 inches. Temperatures in Denver crash from the mid-50s on Saturday to the mid-20s on Sunday with wind chills in the single digits. Let me also cover the southern plains in more detail for those of you in Texas and Oklahoma. For Texas, this storm is going to be a wild ride. Starting in the west, Midland and Odessa will see gusty winds and blowing dust Saturday and Sunday. Temperatures drop from the 70s into the 30s by Monday. In the Panhandle, Amarillo and Lubbock are looking at dangerous wind chills by Monday morning in the teens and single digits. In North Texas, Dallas and Fort Worth, here is your detailed timeline. Saturday will be warm and increasingly humid with temperatures in the upper 70s. Saturday night, clouds increase. Sunday morning, thunderstorms begin developing to your west by 10 or 11 in the morning. By noon to 1 in the afternoon, storms are moving through the Metroplex. The strongest storms arrive between 1 and 4 Sunday afternoon. Damaging winds of 50 to 70 miles per hour are the primary threat. Large hail up to quarter size is possible. An isolated tornado cannot be ruled out. By Sunday evening around 7 or 8, the squall line has passed and temperatures begin to fall. By midnight, you are in the upper 40s. By Monday morning at 6, you are in the low 30s. Wind chills Monday morning will be in the 20s. High temperature on Monday only in the mid-40s. This is a 40-degree temperature drop in less than 18 hours. For Houston, Saturday is warm and muggy mid-80s. Thunderstorms develop Sunday afternoon and evening. The strongest storms hit Sunday night between 8 and midnight. Damaging winds are the main threat. Temperatures fall from the low 80s Sunday afternoon to the upper 40s by Monday morning. For San Antonio, similar timing, storms Sunday afternoon between 2 and 6. For Austin, storms between 1 and 5 Sunday afternoon. For Oklahoma, Oklahoma City and Tulsa are in a similar setup to Dallas. Thunderstorms develop Sunday late morning into early afternoon. The squall line sweeps through between noon and 4 in the afternoon with damaging winds and possible tornadoes. Temperatures crash behind the front, falling from the 70s into the 30s by Monday morning. Norman and Moore, Oklahoma, areas that know all too well the danger of severe weather, need to be on high alert Sunday afternoon. This is the kind of dynamic setup that can produce dangerous storms with little warning. For Arkansas, Little Rock is looking at a particularly intense afternoon on Sunday. Storms develop between 1 and 4 in the afternoon. The combination of strong wind shear and modest instability favors a line of storms with embedded circulations. Damaging winds of 60 miles per hour are possible. Behind the storms, temperatures fall from the 70s into the 30s, and there is even a chance of light snow or flurries in northwestern Arkansas near Fayetteville by Sunday night. Fort Smith, similar timing. Pine Bluff and Jonesboro, storms arrive by late afternoon into early evening. For Louisiana, Shreveport sees storms by Sunday early afternoon between noon and 3. Monroe by mid-afternoon. Baton Rouge by Sunday evening, New Orleans by Sunday night around 10 or 11. The main threat across Louisiana is damaging winds with the squall line, but cells moving ahead of the line could produce brief spin-up tornadoes, especially in the Delta region where surface boundaries can provide additional low-level rotation. For Mississippi, the timing runs from mid-afternoon in the west to early Monday morning in the east. Jackson sees storms between 4 and 8 Sunday evening. Tupelo between 5 and 9, Hattiesburg between 8 Sunday night and 1 Monday morning, Meridian between 6 and 10 Sunday evening, Gulfport and Biloxi between 9 Sunday night and 2 Monday morning. For Alabama, storms arrive Sunday night into Monday morning. Birmingham between 8 Sunday night and 1 Monday morning. Montgomery between 10 Sunday night and 3 Monday morning. Huntsville between 7 and 11 Sunday evening. Mobile between midnight and 5 Monday morning. Tuscaloosa between 9 Sunday night and 2 Monday morning. Now, for those of you in Georgia and the Carolinas, your severe weather window is primarily Monday. Atlanta sees storms between 6 and 11 Monday morning. Macon between 8 Monday morning and 1 in the afternoon. Savannah between 10 Monday morning and 3 in the afternoon. Augusta between 8 and noon. Columbus, Georgia between 7 and 11 Monday morning. For South Carolina, Columbia sees storms between 10 Monday morning and 2 in the afternoon. Charleston between noon and 4. Greenville between 8 and noon. Myrtle Beach between 1 and 5 Monday afternoon. For North Carolina, Charlotte between 10 Monday morning and 2 in the afternoon. Raleigh between noon and 4 Monday afternoon. This is the zone where supercells are most likely to develop. The combination of moisture from the Atlantic and strong wind shear overhead could produce rotating thunderstorms capable of producing significant tornadoes. Wilmington between 1 and 5 Monday afternoon. Asheville between 9 Monday morning and 1 in the afternoon, with the added wrinkle of possible snow in the higher elevations behind the front. Fayetteville between 11 Monday morning and 3 in the afternoon. Greensboro between 11 and 3. For Virginia, the severe weather window is Monday afternoon. Richmond between 1 and 5. Norfolk and Virginia Beach between 2 and 6. Roanoke between noon and 4, with snow developing behind the front, potentially 2 to 5 inches. Charlottesville between 1 and 4. Lynchburg between noon and 4. Danville between 1 and 4. Now, here is something I want everyone to remember as we go through this event. The timing I have given you is based on the current model consensus as of Thursday. As we get into Friday and Saturday, the models will continue to refine the exact timing and placement of every feature of this storm. Some cities might see storms an hour or two earlier or later than I have indicated. Snow totals might shift up or down by a few inches depending on where the low-pressure center actually tracks. That is the nature of forecasting a storm that is still 2 to 3 days away from its peak. But the overall picture is not going to change. This is going to be a major, life-disrupting weather event for tens of millions of Americans. The snow is coming. The severe weather is coming. The cold blast is coming. The only question is the fine-scale details. So one more time, let me urge you to do 3 things. Drop your city and state in the comments so we can make sure you are getting the most targeted forecast possible. Share this with your friends, family, and neighbors, because the more people who are prepared, the fewer people who get caught off guard. And make sure you are following this channel for the next update, because when the models come in tomorrow morning, we are going to have much sharper detail on the snow totals, the severe weather risk, and the exact timing for your area. The next video is going to be absolutely critical, and I can already tell you that based on what the early model runs are hinting at, there may be a major surprise in the forecast that nobody is talking about yet. You will want to be here for that. Stay safe, be prepared, and remember, the weather does not care about your schedule. It is coming whether you are ready or not. So get ready now. I will see you in the next update. Actually, before we wrap up, I want to go even deeper on something that a lot of weather channels are not covering, and that is the impact this storm is going to have on travel. If you have flights booked this weekend or early next week, listen up carefully, because this is going to affect every major airport hub in the eastern half of the country. Let us start with the airports that are going to be hit hardest. Minneapolis-St. Paul International Airport is going to be a disaster zone from Friday night through at least Monday afternoon. We are talking about potential runway closures due to heavy snow and near zero visibility. If you have a flight in or out of Minneapolis this weekend, you need to call your airline now and see about rebooking. Do not wait until Sunday morning when everybody else is trying to rebook at the same time. Chicago OHare and Chicago Midway, 2 of the busiest airports in the entire country, are going to see major disruptions. O'Hare is the #1 airport in America for weather-related delays, and this storm is going to live up to that reputation. Expect delays beginning Sunday morning and cascading through the entire system by Sunday evening. Cancellations are going to pile up through Monday and potentially into Tuesday as crews work to clear the runways and de-ice aircraft. Detroit Metro Airport is going to deal with the rain to ice to snow transition, which is the worst possible scenario for airport operations. Freezing rain on the runways is even harder to deal with than snow because it creates a glaze of ice that requires chemical treatment before any aircraft can take off or land. Expect heavy delays and cancellations Sunday night through Tuesday morning. Milwaukee Mitchell International, Green Bay, Austin Straubel, and Madison Dane County regional airports in Wisconsin are all going to be effectively shut down for periods during this storm. If you need to fly anywhere from Wisconsin, try to get out before Saturday evening. Denver International Airport could see some delays Saturday night into Sunday with light to moderate snow, but Denver is well equipped to handle snow and should recover quickly. For the New York City area airports, John F. Kennedy, LaGuardia, and Newark Liberty, expect delays and cancellations Monday as rain changes to snow and winds pick up. The wind alone could ground flights even before the snow arrives. Gusts of 40 to 50 miles per hour at these airports will cause ground stops and extended delays. Boston Logan International is looking at disruptions Monday afternoon through Tuesday morning with snow and wind. Philadelphia International, Washington Dulles, and Ronald Reagan National are all going to see delays Monday with rain, possible thunderstorms, and wind. If the rain to snow changeover is more significant than currently forecast, cancellations could pile up Monday evening. Atlanta Hartsfield Jackson, the world's busiest airport by passenger traffic, could see delays and cancellations Monday morning as the squall line moves through with strong thunderstorms and gusty winds. Dallas-Fort Worth International, one of the largest airports in the world, will see delays Sunday afternoon as thunderstorms move through. The good news is the storms should clear by Sunday evening and operations should normalize by Monday morning, though the cold temperatures will require de-icing for morning departures. Charlotte Douglas International is going to see thunderstorm delays Monday. Nashville International will be dealing with storms Sunday evening. Memphis International faces storms Sunday evening through early Monday. My advice for anyone with travel plans this weekend or early next week: if you can adjust your travel dates, do it now. If you absolutely must fly, build in at least a full-day buffer on either side of your trip. Download your Airline S app so you can get real-time notifications about delays and cancellations. And remember that even airports that are not directly in the storm S path can see cascading delays because aircraft and flight crews get stuck in affected cities. For those of you driving, the situation is even more dire in the storm zone. Interstate 90 across Wisconsin and Minnesota is going to be impassable at times from Sunday morning through Monday evening. Interstate 94 through Wisconsin and Michigan will have similar conditions. Interstate 35 in Iowa and Minnesota will see whiteout conditions. Interstate 80 across Iowa could be shut down. Interstate 70 in Missouri and Illinois could see both severe weather and snow in the same day. Interstate 65 in Indiana will deal with rain, ice, and snow transitions. State departments of transportation across the Midwest are already prepositioning salt trucks and plows, but when snowfall rates exceed 3 inches per hour and winds are gusting to 50 miles per hour, there is simply no way to keep up with clearing the roads. The snow falls faster than it can be plowed. That is why they call it a blizzard. If you are a truck driver, a traveling salesperson, a college student driving home for spring break, or anyone else who needs to be on the road this weekend, please reconsider your plans. This storm has the potential to strand hundreds of vehicles on highways, and when temperatures drop to below zero with the wind chill, being stuck in your car for hours becomes a life-threatening emergency. I also want to address something for the farming community across the Midwest and Plains. For farmers who have livestock, this storm represents a serious threat. Calving season is underway across much of cattle country, and newborn calves are extremely vulnerable to cold stress. If you have cows that are close to calving, get them into shelter now if at all possible. 2 to 4 feet of snow with wind chills below zero can be lethal for young livestock. Make sure water tanks have heaters and backup power in case electricity goes out. Stock up on extra hay and feed because deliveries are going to be impossible for several days. For crop farmers, the good news is that most spring planting has not started yet in the Midwest, so direct crop damage should be minimal. However, the massive snowfall could delay planting by a week or more depending on how quickly it melts and how saturated the fields become. If the melt is rapid due to the warm-up expected later next week, flooded fields could push planting schedules back even further. Let me also talk briefly about the mental health aspect of a storm like this. I know that for a lot of people, especially those who have already endured a long winter, hearing about 2 to 4 feet of snow in mid-March can feel overwhelming and even depressing. If you are someone who struggles with seasonal affective disorder or winter blues, please know that this is likely one of the last major winter events of the season. The pattern beyond this storm does show a return to more spring-like weather. The calendar has not forgotten that spring is here. This is winter's last stand, a dramatic and powerful one, but likely its final act. For those of you who love winter and are excited about one more big snowstorm, enjoy it. Get your skis out, build a snowman, take some incredible photographs of the winter wonderland. There is something genuinely awe-inspiring about nature's power, and this storm is going to put that power on full display. For everyone, regardless of how you feel about winter, please look out for your neighbors, especially elderly neighbors who might need help shoveling, checking on their heat, or getting to a warm place if the power goes out. Storms like this are when communities come together, and that is one of the most beautiful things about living through extreme weather together. All right, I have given you everything I have for right now. We have covered more than 270 cities across every region of the country. We have broken down the timing for snow, severe weather, ice, wind, and the Arctic blast. We have talked about travel impacts, agricultural concerns, and what to expect hour by hour as this monster storm system unfolds. But this story is far from over. The models are still coming in, and every 6 hours, we get a new batch of data that refines the forecast. Tomorrow's update is going to be crucial because by then the first Clipper system will already be underway, and we will have much better data on the track and intensity of the bomb cyclone that follows. There is a chance that the snow totals get even higher than what I have shown you today. There is also a chance that the severe weather risk gets upgraded significantly. Either way, you need to be here for that next video. One more time, please drop your city and state in the comments. Please share this with everyone you know. And please make your preparations now while you still have time. The clock is ticking on this storm, and in 48 hours, the window for preparation slams shut. Stay safe, America. This one is going to be one for the record books. I will see you in the next update with the very latest information. Do not miss it. And one final thought, I have been watching weather for a very long time, and I can tell you that storms like this one, the ones that combine multiple hazards across multiple days, across multiple regions, these are the ones that define a season. This is not just another weather event. This is the kind of storm that people remember for years. The blizzard of March 2025, the bomb cyclone that brought winter back when everyone thought spring had arrived, the storm that dropped 4 feet of snow on Wisconsin and spawned tornadoes in the same week. Whatever they end up calling it, this storm is going to earn its place in the history books. And you heard it here first. You had the warning. You had the timeline. You had the city-by-city breakdown. Now it is up to you to act on it. Prepare your home, prepare your family, prepare your vehicle, and most importantly, prepare yourself mentally for a few days of serious